Good evening, and welcome to Rhythmgates after our particularly odd startup music. Where last I looked, we had two projects underway. One of which is to build some kind of a trap for intercepting incoming goblins and converting them into armour. And
spike plate.
well, a mashy spike plate would be one approach, certainly. The mortal coil, as Jacob called it, and the other of which is to trap a forgotten beast, because down in the caverns we have a forgotten beast, and we'd quite like to get the caverns back. But the forgotten beast is made of iron and a web spinner, so it's not quite the most dangerous kind of forgotten beast you can get, but
This is extremely convenient.
but it's like up there in the top 10 or so. Like, you could get, I mean, steel will be worse than iron, and deadly dust might be worse than webs. But yeah, it's pretty. It's not not the good kind of forgotten beast. Also, it's also the kind of not even the kind of forgotten beast you can eat, which is, I suppose, the good kind of forgotten beast. I don't think you can even melt it down if you manage to kill it, because I once had a pewter forgotten beast, and my dwarves spent an awfully long time shifting this 10-ton lump of pewter up to useful bits of the fortress, only to discover that they couldn't melt it. Yes, I mean, not that pewter would have been that much use, but still. So we probably can't melt this one down anyway, so my plan is just to put it in a box and look at it. So we tried several attempts at getting to it, and are gradually running out of livestock. So it didn't seem to be interested in knocking down statues. It did seem to be interested in killing our livestock, but it tended to be rather quick at that. So I think what we need to do is to lock a dwarf in a cupboard with the lever that operates the gate. Possibly experiment with putting the livestock behind the statues and seeing if it will come after the livestock through the statues, which would slow it down. But I think primarily just, I mean, if we've got at least two animals, we should try one of them just by sticking the dwarf in a cupboard with a lever. The point of sticking the dwarf in a cupboard with the lever is it means the dwarf will have nothing to do except pull the lever, and thus will not be distracted by anything, and will just pull the lever the moment I ask for it. That's the theory, anyway. So, at the moment, we have the door into our Forgotten Beast trap closed, so it's safe to let dwarves in there. That entrance, that's just the entrance to allow us to look at it if we really want to. So let's just check we've got at least some spare livestock. Yeah, I mean, if necessary, we can just tie up piglets in there, or kittens. We've got kittens.
Seems unfair on kittens.
Well, yes, but it's unfair on everything that we get eaten.
Yes, we expect to use piglets.
You feel it's somehow more legitimate to use a pig as bait than to use a kitten.
Yeah, well, you expect to turn the pig into, dinner at some point, whereas you don't usually expect the pig to turn the kitten.
What's your position on ducks?
Yeah, fine with ducks.
Right. Well, I'm going to try the pig first because we've got a pig. So if we assign the stray boar to that one instead, that will get it moved into the correct room. So then I think what I want to do...
You're considering pigs and ducks. Might I suggest frogs, sheep, elephants and fish?
Possibly. Right, let's just stick a door on either. Let's not bother rebuilding the lever in a cupboard. Let's just build a cupboard around the lever. Quicker. Just needs a door on either side, and then we can lock the two doors with the dwarf in the gap. Oh look, a giant cave swallow is probably about to get killed by a forgotten beast. Actually, the giant cave swallows seem to be one of the things that survive better against forgotten beasts, because they can fly at least for a little while. Right, so that's the pig now moved to the other thing. Let's also remove those statues, because I don't think the statues are helping. And like, it feels polite not to leave the statues down there if we don't need them somehow. This of course relies on having enough space in the stockpile to store all those statues, otherwise they won't get moved. The stockpile does look a bit full. Well, let's just construct a small statue stockpile temporarily. Make sure they get shifted. Furniture type. Forbid all types apart from statues. Right, so that's our statue stockpile. No, I was actually just paused in the usual fashion. Yes, shockingly enough, we found the alpaca dead. Well, I hope we can butcher the alpaca. Oh, everyone's now getting tangled up in the Forgotten Beast webs in the Forgotten Beast store. They'll break free eventually. Right, yeah, the dead alpaca is getting lugged up as well. What have you left down there now? Someone has left what's that? Oh right, that's just a web, yes. Someone has randomly left a hat down there. Yes. Anyone going to come and pick up that hat, or am I just going to have to accept that that hat's going to get stuck in with Forgotten Beast forever? If this works. I think the hat may be staying down there. Okay. Let's lock those two. That one's already locked. I may as well lock that door. So now the idea is I tell someone to pull this lever, and when they pass through the left-hand door, I immediately lock the door and hope that this works. I feel sorry for the poor dwarf who gets the job, but here comes a dwarf through the door. Oh no, that's not a dwarf who's going. That was a dwarf trying to pick something up, possibly the hat. Sorry. No, I can lock doors myself. Doors as opposed to bridges. But the problem is that Forgotten Beasts can knock down ordinary doors. So we really don't want the Forgotten Beasts access to the... Right, now, stay there long enough for the door to close. Right. So, yes, you're still actually thinking about pulling the lever. I hope you were the dwarf who was assigned to pull the lever. Yes, because you've just pulled the lever. Right. So that should now mean that that opens, and there is now a dwarf standing on top of the lever, who is the only dwarf who can get to the lever. So my hope is that when I ask someone to pull the lever, it will be that dwarf. Actually, I can go one better than that, and say, who is this? This is Dusim Mebzuth Sokan. Who is now the only person allowed to pull that lever. So, just in case we can't accidentally assign this lever, get that job assigned to somebody else, which shouldn't happen since the door's stopping anyone else getting to them. So my hope now is that the Forgotten Beast will head downstairs. It may get distracted by the wildlife a bit, but it usually eventually smells the pig, was a fairly rapid piece of cave swallow killing. Spotted a Gorlak. It's heading in the direction of the of our place. I know, it found another thing to kill. Go on.
I found it.
Oh, right, yes. Yes, you're quite right. It does indeed go like that. Yep, it does. Your description of it was actually precisely accurate.
Right. That took a while. I found a complete lunar playlist lasting 5 hours. Only.
They've done quite a lot.
And I got to the song Starlight, which wasn't that one, but gave me the clue about the Marmite line of the song.
Yes. I mean, if you'd managed,
Starlight, cover me in Marmite.
if you'd managed the chorus rather than the verse, or like any of the words, which were even in a language you speak,
Okay.
they're in English. That song's in English. I mean, it's also available in Korean, but anyway, right. Here comes our Forgotten Beast. I think we should arrange to pull the lever now before it even crosses the threshold, because the lever takes a little while to take effect. Pull that lever now, even if you were thinking about doing something else. Oh, God, don't stand on the thing webbing it. Stupid Forgotten Beast. Right, I think the Forgotten Beast has come in, but it's hard to see under all that web. Oh, come on! You're the only person who can pull the lever. Think about pulling the lever. Right, someone is assigned the job of pulling the lever. It's even the correct person. The lever is pulled. Now we just have to wait for the drawbridge to raise, because drawbridges have quite a long lag. I mean, I could press space now, but... Oh dear, no, don't. That would be particularly embarrassing if it causes the drawbridge to deconstruct. Oh, too slow. That was like 2 ticks too slow.
Tick, bang.
Yes. The drawbridge closed just after the Forgotten Beast stepped off it. Ah. Well, let's try the experiment of putting the statues in front of a duck. I mean, we could put more animals in there, I suppose, but it really doesn't take a Forgotten Beast very long to kill something. Right, okay, let's try putting a row of statues in front of the duck, as it will next be. Right, thank you for your service. You could have been quicker. Yeah, have a duck. I mean, it did actually spend a little while wrestling with the pig before kicking it in the head. Um, so let's try putting a row of statues in front of the chain. Meanwhile, what's going on upstairs? So what's happened to that? That ended up suspended for some reason. Let's try unsuspending that and seeing if that gets finished. I had a kind of idea about how to so I think we want a bridge. We want to install lots of bridges around here and have a pile of levers that operate them. So we're going to want a tiny retracting bridge over there so that we can seal off the mortal coil while we're doing maintenance on it. And I kind of feel we then want some access into it from inside the fortress that doesn't involve going through whatever traps we set. Or rather, doesn't involve walking round and round and round and round and round and round and round. Which I think could reasonably be done by having like a down ramp in each turn of the spiral that then connects up to a corridor below and bridges over all of them that spend most of their time closed. And then there can also be, like, if it all works, there could then be a stockpile down there of for collecting goblinite in. Because obviously if the place is full of zombies, the only person who can safely go in there is our necromancer, because everyone else will tend to get eaten by the zombies. Well, we seem to have built a lot of doors. Let's install a lot of doors. That's all the doors we currently have. Are any of these actually designated as bedrooms yet? No, let's designate some bedrooms, because that way people will actually have bedrooms, and I'm sure it'll make them happier. Wait for the others to have their doors installed before we bedroomify those. Right, so let's let things go again. Mostly now we're putting back those statues, but in a different layout from how they were before. Forgotten Beast has found a helmet snake. Of course, everyone is now lugging doors up to the bedrooms rather than lugging statues down into the Forgotten Beast trap. So are those all properly buildings.
It's just a grammar problem. Your forgotten beast trap has turned into a forgotten beast trap.
Yeah. Right, okay, so duck in place. Statues in front of duck in the hope that that will slow the forgotten beast down enough that we can close the door behind it.
You've still got your door trapped on the lever.
No, but because that's also the corridor for getting at the trap. But now we can do the same trick as last time and lock a different door on the lever. Seb asks, are they statues of ducks? I don't think so. There's a statue of Stackard Inkmind, the dwarf, relating to his settling in Rhythmgates in the early spring of 167. Ditto one of our former mayors making a submissive gesture after being turfed out of the job of mayor, and finally designed an image of dwarves in diorite. So no, they're all statues of dwarves. Okay. Oh. I think I may have accidentally made it rather difficult to dig some of these because it's not possible to go past them on the upper level while they're you'll find a way. I'm fairly sure it's possible. I mean, we do, I suppose, want to eventually build bridges across all of them as well. So where we have a hole, we can do that. So, has anyone pulled the lever yet? Someone has pulled the lever because I'm a stoat and was looking upstairs. Yes. Pull the lever again. Oh, it's my stressed necromancer. Right. Lock the door. Pull the lever again, so as to unlock the, so as to let the forgotten beast in. So let's see if it looks like it likes that possibility. Question is essentially, is it able to understand that it can get to that duck as long as it knocks the statues down? Currently the forgotten beast is just hiding in the corner, but I know that there's actually some wildlife on this level because I just saw it. But it's for some reason hiding right in the corner of the map. Come on. I mean, you could leave as well, that would be acceptable too. Oh, right, it spotted the Gorlak at least. Or smelt the Gorlak. Right. Now what? I think you found another bit of wildlife because I don't think that's the correct direction. Right. Now how about coming after our duck? It's a very nice duck. Oh, there's a Gorlak. Right, duck. That Gorlak's taking some killing. Why didn't our pig take that long for you to kill? You're going the wrong way again. Come on, we've got a duck for you. Sure, it'll be an enjoyable duck. Yes, I think the necromancer was swifter than some other people at pulling levers, so I may try permanently assigning this lever to them. Come on, come on. Downstairs. Well, ramp. Winter is upon me. Right, well, we have a short delay before we discover whether this is going to work or not. So yes, a slight delay. So yes, this might work. I mean, it seems to be heading in the right direction now. Meanwhile, upstairs, what else am I going to need to do up there? I did have some mad plan involving automated latching drawbridges. I might just go for having a lever to operate the drawbridge. Like, it's going to take a fair while for anyone to get through that lot anyway. You're still not going the right way, Forgotten Beast. I mean, you're causing the game to spawn an awful lot of cavern wildlife, it appears. But you are fundamentally not interested in our duck, are you? Because the wildlife is always more interesting than the statues that you would have to demolish to get to the duck. Right, I think you're hunting a cave swallow there. Yeah, I think this Forgotten Beast is not going. While I think it would be happy to take on the statues if it had nothing else to do, there are consistently giant cave swallows for it to kill or whatever. So it never actually gets bored enough to come down to us unless we have an animal it can reach. Right, let's fix this then. You've pulled the lever, or are assigned to pull the lever, or something. No. Oh, well, okay. I shouldn't. Now that I've let the necromancer out, he's gone off to a meeting. I think he wants to shout at the mayor again. Oh God, I'm not ready for a vile force of darkness yet. I think I may be seriously unready for a vile force of darkness. Actually, no, we've got a bridge there, so they can't actually get in there. So actually, we don't. If we pull this lever, then that will seal off the fortress until we're ready. The only problem is that we don't have anything, that the only corpses we've got are out on the surface. Or the only suitable corpses. I mean, admittedly, we've got 1,500 dead helmet snake skeletons. So let's build those bridges. Let's at least get to work on making this work. Looks like that it may actually not... Oh. Why is no one actually building that, I wonder? Is it that they can't get to it and I need to demolish the adjacent one first? Yeah, I don't know quite how the necromancy is going to work. We will have to see that. No, actually, let's also build an ordinary drawbridge there. Okay, Pink Beast has the suggestion of, I'm vaguely wondering if you can minecart shotgun corpses past a necromancer so they animate, then land in the world outside. I think the necromancer is not that fast. I don't know what happens if you revive a corpse while it's in a minecart. I suspect it falls out. Sadly, or climbs out rather. Well, the current plan is in general that the necromancer, since they only need line of sight, stands behind these windows and fortifications and waves at the corpses that we will have in the spiral. I think I need to demolish one of these windows so that it's possible to build the one in the corner, because I think the windows require orthogonal adjacency. Well, I mean, people seem to be having reason to go into the mortal coil, which is nice. There's our great big vile force of darkness. They have brought trolls this time. Just pausing briefly to check that everything is sealed. I think it is. I mean, in theory, we could try, like, digging a tunnel up to here, sticking a fortification in the wall, and just seeing what happens if we send the necromancer up there. But that seems a bit brave. Yeah, my hope is that once we have a stock of corpses, we can just keep using them, so that we won't need to engage in like highly dynamic corpse manoeuvrings or something. So I think we probably now want a small room full of levers somewhere. That will then operate various bridges. Oh, yeah, we do have a slight problem. We can't actually let let the goblins in through this bridge because I don't know that we can connect anything to it. We might be able to actually. We might be able to connect it up from underneath.
I suppose there's no chance you can accidentally have forgotten beast run into the goblins or something.
They're quite a long way apart. Plus, then we have the Forgotten Beasts where the goblins are, or the goblins where the Forgotten Beast is, but that's particularly hard to arrange. And, like, we don't really want the Forgotten Beast on the surface. That's an even less helpful place for it to be than in the caverns. Anyway, so we've closed the gate now, so now we can remove those statues again because they don't work. Make some more rope. Gods, where do we make rope? I mean, we could just forge copper chains, so that seems a bit extravagant. So we can probably forge chains in something less valuable. I would say less valuable, but copper or silver, and let's forge silver chains because it's prettier, and silver is less useful for making weapons out of. And like we actually seem to be making all our trinkets out of bone anyway. What on earth are you guys doing? Sorry, they're trying to build the room with. I'm going to stick some levers in to operate all the bridges. Only they're making. It seems to be getting repeatedly assigned to different dwarves. Right. Okay. So, did we successfully remove one of those? Yes, so now we can reinstall that one. Right. That's got the windows sorted, or at least nearly sorted. Have I failed to unlock that? I have, yes. Unlock that. The place is full of scholars. I think I may need to unlock... Oh, there's a ghost. Yes, I suppose there might be. Because the Forgotten Beast killed a bunch of people, and some of them we haven't managed to do anything about yet. Dether Wishopalath. Right. Oops. Assuming we have any stocks of slabs, maybe we need to make some more slabs. Oh, we don't actually have any blank slabs to engrave yet. Suspend those jobs until we've actually made some slabs. Meanwhile, we have a bunch of okay, I had assumed that those were going to get like butchered, but apparently not. Let's just dump them. Right, so now we're removing the statues again. What does it turn out we've got like no silver or no charcoal? We've got lots and lots and lots and lots of charcoal. Indeed, I'm a little worried that we've got that much charcoal. That suggests that my charcoal production system has gone wrong. We're meant to have like a stock of about 10 charcoal. We do, on the other hand, have practically no silver. Okay. Right, aren't we only meant to make charcoal under fairly limited circumstances? No, we apparently have an infinite make charcoal job. Well, that's wrong. Conditions. Products condition. Don't make charcoal unless we've actually got like even slightly a shortage of charcoal. Thank you. Okay, well, I'll make the chains out of copper then. Yes, wood is precious. I mean, I suppose I could just... I don't actually need to chain things up down here, do I? Actually. I can just pasture them all down there and then close the lid on them. And then they can run away. I mean, it won't help because they'll be webbed, but... yeah, let's just do that. That's easier. We just assign that area as a pasture, or a pen, strictly, and then say... all the ducks, and the piglet, and gosling, and another piglet. Most of our animals are sadly named, but still. And then I can cancel making those chains because I don't need them. We've got some cats, and yeah, eventually we'll get some more livestock, I'm sure. Right, we've now got that room built, so let's put some levers in it. We're going to need more mechanisms, aren't we? I don't know how many levers we'll want. Let's put 3 levers in there for now. And build some more mechanisms. So I think there are still a couple of creatures to be shipped in there, maybe not. Right, we have at least one slab, so let's unsuspend those because I bet the next one will be built fairly soon. Bringing in some more livestock. One of the ducks has got out. Back in there. Right. All of the assigned animals are in there, so let's lock the hatch cover above them before they escape. Lock that door, leave that door unlocked. Going to be so many bones for us after this. Oh, apparently we made at least one of those memorials. Yes. Let's just temporarily erect a memorial somewhere. Well, this room's currently unused. I mean, actually this memorial will not be a very useful memorial because it probably says went missing, because we don't actually know quite what happened. Or rather, the dwarves don't currently know quite what happened to the person. Oh no, we know struck down by the Forgotten Beast. Interesting. Excellent. Well, we can use that once we get their corpse back. So, I think we now try pulling this lever again. Oh, we've already scheduled that. Right. In that case, I need to actually watch. So, I really am paying some attention. Right, here comes the lever puller in chief. Also Chief Medical Dwarf Necromancer. Who is now not allowed to leave. The bridge opens. Sorry, goblins and trolls and such like, you are the less interesting. Oh. Right, so anyway, yes. To see if now the Forgotten Beast comes down to our lovely, tempting room full of ducks, etc. Doesn't get distracted by all the helmet snakes. Yes, coming down to the lower level, which seems to be mostly where they mostly doesn't seem to have wildlife in it. So, the question is, how early do I think I should schedule pulling the lever now, because it's actually safe to pull the lever early. If the door closes before the Forgotten Beast gets in. No, don't try to attend a meeting! Will that cause him to cancel attending the meeting? Okay, you're going to insist on trying to talk to the mayor about your problems rather than pulling this lever right next to you. Okay, well in that case, you nuisance, I shall be really optimistic, unlock the door, unprofile the lever so that anyone is allowed to pull it, and hope that someone goes, ooh, there's a lever there, I should pull it. And hope that it's someone nearby. Not very nearby. Also someone whose legs don't work properly, but Forgotten Beast is still in the room. still in the room. Lever is pulled, and the Forgotten Beast has left. Damn it! We want you for so many things that aren't your lever pulling ability. Right. Well, clear out the dead creatures. I mean, we probably want to just trash them, don't we? Because otherwise well, clear them out and we'll deal with them in a moment. And we'll work out who to put in there next. Well, it's going to be kittens next, I'm afraid. Meanwhile, what's going on up here? Okay, we've managed to install all of the bridges for extracting things. We've apparently only got one of the 3 levers in place, but I suppose we could link that lever up to something. So let's go. No, actually, I think the middle lever should be the one that lets us get things out of the coil, and the left lever should be the one that connects the coil to the fortress, and the right lever should be the one that connects the coil to the outside world. I'm sure. Why are there random scholars pootling around up here? This is a very dangerous place. Right, so let's connect that lever up to... No, not that bridge. 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 Not any of those bridges, but that bridge. Right. So, that's that lot being trashed. Someone just... What? Why did someone... Why was there a... Bloody scholars. Right, so, let us fill the trap room with kittens this time, see if that works any better. 3 kittens. That seems like a suitable number of kittens, doesn't it? I think we may have a bit of a shortage of mechanics. I mean, yeah. What's the point of a miller anyway? Try engineering instead. Much better career in a place where we don't have anything you can mill. I don't actually think the size of the bait matters very much, because pretty much anything this forgotten beast kills with a single punch to the head. So, like, probably the thing that most gives...
In that case, send in something that hasn't got a head.
If I had any livestock like that, I would. But all of my livestock is made of kittens. Well, it is now anyway.
All of this makes sense.
Right, so I've locked in 3 kittens. One of our miners has experienced a strange mood. That's fine.
Please tell me kittens are represented by the mu symbol.
Who they're not represented by the mu symbol. They're represented by a lowercase c in red to indicate it's a child. You want... Well, let's see if you just go and collect it all for yourself. You've gone off to collect one object at least. Decided that you want that lump of rock. Kind of slightly paying attention to this strange mood because I don't want to accidentally drive one of my miners mad. Right, going off to fetch another object. What's that? Oh, it's probably a pet rabbit, isn't it? That we don't have any means of feeding because we live in a cave. Where are you going to fetch your stuff? I lost you. Alright, you've decided that even though we have plenty of diorite boulders all over the bloody fortress, you have to go all the way up to the... What? How has our duck been missing for a week? I'm pretty sure we haven't lost its corpse. Like, I'm fairly sure we recovered the corpse.
Lost my duck. I knew it was quacking. It wasn't giggling.
Right, now where are you going? You have fetched something blue. And now you're worried that there is something you want that you can't get. Right, so you've got rocks and more rocks, rough gems, and there's some kind of cloth you haven't got.
Maybe. Don't you run up and rhymes after a while? I think it's a problem.
And we have all of the kinds of cloth. I wonder if they're just, if it's just that some of them are currently assigned to the hospital. Let's just say the hospital actually doesn't own any cloth. I mean, I'll disestablish the hospital if I have to. Okay, that apparently isn't good enough unless it's now being hauled. Okay, someone thinks that they're still meant to be putting a kitten in place. Oh, that's probably just the kittens wandering around a bit, yes. So apparently the surplus cloth in there is not appropriate in some way, or is not adequately considered surplus. Let's remove the coffer from the hospital for now, because that should be harmless. Okay, apparently our library is so exciting that people are getting injured there. Right, meanwhile, what's going on up here? Right, we have all 3 levers. That one is connected to the inner bridge. That one, I want to try connecting it to that bridge. Granite door destroyed by a named troll. The kind of thing worries me slightly. So I don't think we should have any doors that can be reached from anywhere a troll can be. Oh, right, that door. Oh, that's perfectly safe.
I don't think the door's perfectly safe. I think it's an
No,
internal danger.
but it's quite reasonable. It's perfectly safe for them to destroy it. They won't get into the fortress that way. They're just having fun destroying doors. Right, so we have a bit of a problem, which is that we can't connect something up to that bridge from below. It's confusing this. This is a wall. This symbol that's exactly the same is a floor. Maybe I should have done this a bit differently. So that means that letting people into the mortal coil, even if it otherwise works, is going to be irritatingly impractical. Because, well, I mean, we can cut a new hole in the ceiling, I suppose. But even then, we still need something in there for them to fight, which we haven't got. I'm actually inclined to try the stupid trick and see what happens. And go for digging a tunnel from here to here, and then to here, making a fortification in the end wall, and then stationing my necromancer there and seeing what happens. Oh, good. Right, demolishing the chest in the hospital sorted out the making sure. The problem was all of our cloth was assigned to the hospital. Right, reinstall the coffer. Reset it to want 50,000. Where's my hospital zone gone? Oh, don't reinstall the coffer in a random bedroom that happens to have stuff all over the floor. Reinstall the coffer in the hospital and say actually the hospital should have a decent amount of cloth in it. Right, so that will then get the hospital reassembled. Not that it matters very much. Right. bloody scholars all over the place.
Using my scholars for stirring their tea.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just going to lock that scholar in, I think. Right, so let's try pulling the lever again. That's the other door upstairs in the summer house. I put doors on the summer house to try to keep the snow out, but like,
Trolls are a harder proposition than snow.
yeah. Right, so that's now unlocked again. I hope you like. Oh, we've got some more piglets. Excellent. And the Forgotten Beast is being very quick. So let's just check. Our lever puller is still locked in there and is currently labelled as no job, which is what we want. So we should probably pull the lever about now.
Should have asked them several turns ago.
Well, we'll see. No, so what? Have you? Does that mean you've actually pulled the lever while I wasn't looking? I don't think so, because I think I want the lever to be to the left. Now I'm going, oh gods, I don't know what state the lever's meant to be in. No one's cancelled the pulling lever job, so I think the job has been achieved. Yes! Finally! We have trapped the Forgotten Beast. Victory. Keep it there. I mean, now we can let people into. Let's see. There's a little room here that you can get into, with a window and a fortification. The fortification stops the Forgotten Beast destroying the window. The window stops the Forgotten Beast webbing anyone who comes down here. Where you can watch the Forgotten Beast. It's a kind of zoo, though not officially a zoo, because officially to be a zoo you have to actually cage the Forgotten Beast, but that's a bit beyond me.
You're not going to try to kill it, you're going to make it a tourist attraction.
Yeah. No, we have a library. We get scholars turning up. Maybe they'd like to study our Forgotten Beast very carefully from a distance. I mean, they can study it from close up if they like, but they'll probably get killed. And indeed, we have an alternative room here that has a fortification but no window, so that if you want to collect some Forgotten Beast webs, you can go in there instead. My hope was that I could perhaps distract the Forgotten Beast with something that it could web but not get to, but it turned out that didn't work.
What's Forgotten Beast webs good for?
Not much, actually. You can spin them into thread and make cloth out of them, but they're not as valuable as giant cave hippo webs. So actually, Forgotten Beast, bizarrely, things made of Forgotten Beasts are of the lowest value of any kind of animal. So they're not, like, you do get a lot of meat off a Forgotten Beast if it's made of meat, but this one's not made of meat. It's made of iron, which you can't melt, because Forgotten Beast bodies don't quite... Forgotten Beasts made of materials that you might hope you could use for something that aren't like the normal materials you make creatures out of, don't work quite right. At least they didn't last time I tried it. Maybe they work properly now, but still, it's a Forgotten Beast made of iron. It's next to impossible to kill. So yes, we have 3 dead kittens down there, but right, do not even think about unlocking that floor hatch. That floor hatch is now to be walled off from the rest of the fortress. Except there's a bloody... Oh, sorry, I don't care that there's a scholar on the other side of it. I'll dig a new tunnel to let the scholar out. I need to unlock those doors. That door can be unlocked. That door can be unlocked. Okay, the scholar has left anyway. Right, so meanwhile, we're engaging in silly buggers. So what I want to do is to create a new squad probably more or less have that. Thank you, Jacob. Okay. Whose only member will be our chief medical dwarf. So then the idea is that I can order the chief medical dwarf to somewhere where they can see the invading goblins. There's still a slight problem here, actually. There's a sensible way I can work around that. Right, so now smooth that stone. Stick a door in here for safety's sake. Actually stick a door right there as well. Is that a polar bear? It is. Oh no, it's a partial skeleton of a polar bear. There's plenty of creatures up there. If we could get our necromancer to somewhere where they could see them. So I'm slightly worried about. Thank you. You've made me a diorite coffer. It's quite a valuable diorite coffer. An image of a gizzard stone in claro opal. Okay. And what was the mechanical air? Was that some accidentally destroyed object? Oh well. Right, so we've now walled off the Forgotten Beasts room. We'll allow people in to see it if they want to go in. Right. So now we smooth that wall. And then let's wait for those doors to be installed first so that we have a reasonably easy way of not getting shot. Right, that door's been... Okay, that's the door I care about. So now let's fortify that. The slight thing that slightly worries me is if we've got fortifications there, then Mark's goblin can run up to them and start shooting through them. So I suppose ideally we'd then build a window behind them. But there's kind of scheduling problems there. Right. So now if I go the wavy hand... No, wavy hands, please station yourself just there, there. fix that. Incidentally, what is there that's currently pissing you off? Well, don't worry, it's going to get exciting. Like, there's a danger you're going to get shot. I'm sure that will cheer you up. Oops.
What happened to the necromancer gets shot?
I'm not sure. Oops, wrong person.
Pops the crossbow roll out and frowns.
Well, they're not. They don't need to eat or such like, but they do. I think they can still be killed, and I think they bleed in a way that, say, zombies don't. Right, here's our chief medical dwarf necromancer heading in the correct direction, and stationing themselves slightly too far from the exit to actually do any good. That's not actually where I wanted you to be. If I send you to there, does that help? No. You're going to station yourself too far from the window to be useful. Well, let's make ourselves a new window then. So, and where are you going now? Oh, you've decided you can't now go to where I said you to go. Okay. Position yourself as close as you can get to this point here, which is a location you can get to if you think about it, please. Well, if someone goes down there, they'll probably find that the kittens are indeed dead. Suppose we could try an experiment then. What happens if we actually send... Alright, they found one of the kittens. Are you going to... Okay, you think you can station yourself there by going that way? Yeah, that's just not helpful. Let's not send you all the way in there. Send you back out to nominally here. So curiously, the military dwarves insist... Oh, no, the siege hasn't gone away. Insist on being able to get to the place you target, even though they never actually go to the place you targeted. Oh yes, Jacob suggests that maybe I could actually let the dwarves back into the caverns. I suppose I should check what the... yeah, it's mostly full of naked mole dogs. That's fine. Too many visiting scholars. And what are these dancers doing? And poets? Okay, you're claiming you're here for research. Okay.
I think they're trying to set up the success of the creative project.
Well, someone found a wear monitor. Yes. Long before we found the wear monitor. I mean, I think there may be a bit of a problem here that the... that the We may have a bit of a problem that the goblins are actually a bit tough. Right.
Best kind of bits of bingo in there. I've got put it into I can't find the bottom.
We probably need some empty coffins as well, don't we? How are we off for empty coffins? We've got one, which is already assigned, so we're going to need at least one more. Happily, we've made one more. Make 3 more. So let's remove that slab and put it where it should be. Jutton says, "Oh heck, do you need to keep track of which of the goblin army are infectious?" I don't think I do. Oh god, well, no, I'm not planning for any of my dwarves to get close to any of the goblin army. I think this dwarf is insisting on going all the way to the centre of the mortal coil for no very good reason. Well, yes. Well, yes, except that he's not meant to be getting in there by that route. This is the problem when you tell someone where to go for military purposes. They seem to only go to somewhere nearby. Yes. Well, in a pink end tilde anyway. End tilde in general. Right, and now we go back again. Because I have actually given him an order to be somewhere else. Because going in by that route was not sensible. I suppose meanwhile I can start... So that one's suspended because it's meant to be the front door. That one I want to link up all of these bridges to. So we're going to need lots more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're going to need 12 more mechanisms. Yes, well the thing is that the caverns are full of forgotten beast webs now, so people are going to keep getting stuck in them.
Minus two of that. Plus 2 of good.
Yeah, mostly we just seem to have a cavern full of naked mole dogs. I mean, at least the necromancer won't end up having to go and eat, but so So, So that one can be used for burial. That one is where we want to put the slab for that one.
It's usually from
Why is there not a coffin in that square? Oh no, because that's where a slab should go. So has that coffin now been assigned, yes, to Kiwan Thingamy? So now I can stick a slab next to that. Right. I assume that one also correctly says what killed it, but we'll find out in a bit. Right, so our necromancer, while not quite where I hoped they would be, is probably in a slightly helpful position. So now let's see if the if anyone comes down to say hello. And my hope is that they'll work out that, oh, here they come, that they can do something. Maybe they're coming down the hill. Or maybe they're not. You could just wave your hand while you're there and cause the that thing to come to life. You don't have to wait for the goblins to turn up. I mean, in theory, I could temporarily open the front door, but I feel that might be a rather dangerous approach with this many goblins.
Especially since you can't feed them to the fucking beast. Fucking beast. Is it
Yes, we're now converting skeletons into bones as fast as we can, I think. Because there are an awful lot of skeletons out there. Well, no, separating the skeleton into its constituent bones. So that they can, and cleaning them up and getting them ready for carving. Well, mostly what we sell is carved bones with gems attached. Let's mark any remaining teeth for destruction before someone carefully hauls all of them back and puts them in the in a stockpile. Right, yes, all of those helmet snake teeth. Right. The naked mole dogs got into the fortress. Yeah, let's just get some military dwarves around the food stockpiles. I'm sure that will deal with the naked mole dogs pretty quickly. Our goblins don't want to come down and say hello, do they? I'm going to be very brave and try to quickly pull that lever twice in succession. That may be slightly too fast for the door to open, but okay, someone's assigned to the job. I hope they're not too far away. What are you doing? I'm going to lock the door that would otherwise let you out because I don't want you leaving that corridor. Now I really want someone to pull this lever. Who's assigned to it? Where are they? They're running up the stairs as fast as they can. Happily, the goblins have not made it here. One of the scholars has almost reached the front door, mind. Indeed, the scholars appear to be more efficient in invading my fortress than the than the goblins are. I mean, I think they won't manage to get in before the door closes again. Though someone's cat is about to get out. Yes, the scholars have made it inside. Well done. One of them is now a little bit stunned because they were on the drawbridge when it closed. Right, so I opened the door briefly in the hope that that would...
I don't think so. I think these aren't like net drawbridges, in that the dwarf just had an accident with it and is still alive.
A lowering drawbridge will kill anything under it.
Yeah, but in net act, like breathing a drawbridge is...
Yes. A raising drawbridge just throws things and people in the air. Actually, strictly, it won't kill anything under it. It'll kill small enough things under it, but I think dwarves are small enough. Elephants, on the other hand, will cause the drawbridge to deconstruct, which is obviously unfortunate. So, a bunch of scholars have made it down here and are going, oh, can we get in? Can we? But there's no sign of the goblins. Look, I opened the front door to tempt you down. You do at least appear to be moving in what might even be the correct direction. But I think you're just chasing the wildlife. Interestingly, the goblins don't seem to consider the scholars to be a problem.
The goblins and troll were playing nicely, and not actually besieging their fortress.
So, yes, they're still all the way up on the side of the mountain. And not coming down here to say hello. Okay, well, let's try doing the same thing again. Because we got away with it once, so it's obviously safe. Okay, they have a wear monitor problem now.
I think technically then you're just achieving the state known as the normalisation of deviance, but
Yes, possibly.
good luck. Try not to die.
I'm sure that's a statistical term.
Okay, one of the cat that ended up outside is unhappy. One of our goblins turned into a wear monitor and thus shed all their stuff and is there. Song slong zuspgas. Doesn't actually appear to have got into a fight with anyone quite yet. But, alright, yes. But yes, indeed managed to get bitten before. Indeed, rather bizarrely, and slightly to my annoyance, I think the wear monitor may not actually be hostile to the goblins. When one of my dwarves gets turned into a wear monitor, it's a disaster because the wear monitor starts stacking people. When one of your goblins gets turned into one, apparently it's fine.
The goblin what? Cool.
Yes. Mm.
Hey, look at this, guys.
I apologise to the forgotten beast who is currently in a big cloud of miasma. That's a consequence of all those dead kittens.
Yeah, but it's not going to harm the
Who was it that killed the kittens?
Yeah, true, it was the forgotten beast.
Well, it's his own fault then.
Well, he didn't know it was going to be stuck in an enclosed space with
Yes.
the remains of the kittens.
Right, we have opened the front door again, as Verity suggests we are normalising deviance, and closed it again. This has not caused very much because it was only very briefly open. And the invaders are still halfway up the mountain. Indeed, mostly standing around what they possibly think is the entrance to the fort. Except it's not and hasn't been for a long time. Come down here and say hello to my necromancer. It'll be fun.
Are you sure of that?
It'll be fun for someone. Whereas standing around at the top of the mountain is just boring. Like, you can probably even shoot the necromancer if you walk up to the wall.
processes of something.
Well, yes. So, oh dear, we've got so many. I need to get the jeweler's workshop dueling, don't I? So what's our cut gems situation? We have all the Claro opals basically. So I should go. New order. No, I should apply it to just that thing. And I should we should no, not add a task. Add a work order for encrust finished goods. Finished. So can I just go Claro? Yes. Encrust finished goods with Claro opal. Do say 10 of them at a time, with a condition that we have at least 20 Claro opals. No, 20 Claro opals in stock. And we have something we can improve. Doing 10 at a time means that they'll probably be made happen a bit faster. We don't want to encrust the finished goods with metal. Metal is expensive because it needs wood. We encrust things with gems because gems are easy to get.
You need metal to get gems.
Well, yeah, but the metal's reusable. Once we've got a pick, we can just keep using it.
They don't wear out.
No. Weapons in general do, but I think picks don't. Picks not used for killing animals anyway. Or other things. Right. So... I have a thought. I thought I had a thought. Oh yes, it was mostly that we should probably try to get more gems, because if we've only got 100 or so Claro opals, we could get more. Will involve digging staircases in everything. I've dug out most of the Claro opals that are at floor level, but obviously there's plenty of them higher up that we can get at. Indeed, there are actually plenty at ground level, because there are places that we can now get at everything in the what's going on with it? Have we actually got ludicrous stocks of rough gems as well, and I need to set up some jobs to do those? We have, yes. We should reclaim all of the objects, shouldn't we? Or at least... No, it doesn't look like so. We've got all these claro-opals lying around, which ought to be hauled back to the fort and processed there. Oh right, I stuck that on there in order to stop things happening, didn't I? Yes, right. I can't remember why. We don't need that condition anymore, though. Start cutting claro-opals again. What? There are rough claro-opals all over the place. Look. Here. Oh, okay, those are rough lapis lazuli. Rough claro-opals. Go and get them.
Good night, people in earshot.
Night. Right, that's definitely inactive. So why are all those lovely rough claro-opals not being collected properly, I wonder?
Oops.
Oh, is that jeweller's shop set to take from anywhere? No. I mean, it could be, but it's not. I don't think we can do anything with that either. Oh, there's some goblins around the entrance. Come on. Understand that they're hostile and wave your hands. Yes. We have a human sunless zombie. Human sunless zombie were-ant-eater, indeed, I think. Maybe. No, hang on. They've come back to life as a human sunless zombie, having previously been a were-ant-eater. The chief medical dwarf necromancer gestures. The human sunless zombie shudders and begins to move. Also... gestures, and a couple of spare bits of body lying around have also started to move. So my aim here is to come out of this with a profit, so to take out one goblin. I don't know that we will, but... okay, our sunless zombie apparently appears to be buggering off. Thank you. That's really unhelpful. I think the sunless zombie has gone, sod this for a game of soldiers, I'm going home. and has left the map. Right. Well, that was nice. Thank you. So if you, my dear necromancer, would like to get to a point where you can see the other corpse... God damn it, we just dealt with the last one. The forgotten beast Okom has come, a great one-eyed tarantula. It has 4 long straight horns, and it is slavering. Its olive exoskeleton is waxy. Beware its poisonous bite. I mean, that's probably relatively killable, unlike the previous one. I think getting the 2 forgotten beasts into the same room may be a bit complicated. I mean, obviously what we want is to raise the forgotten beast Okom as a zombie, but... right, that's nice. I think now is probably the point at which to save and say, oh look, we have a new forgotten beast and we'll worry about this on Sunday. So the summary is that... good news. The necromancer can indeed raise corpses from the other side of a fortification and successfully have them attack, and sometimes successfully have them attack things. However, if it raises them as intelligent undead, they may decide that being on the map is really not what they want, and they may bugger off. No, our forgotten beast necromancer, our dwarf necromancer is still unhappy. I hope he's not restless after reading An Unexciting Life. He's unfettered after doing something exciting, so that was an improvement. Look, I can't get you a family. You have to get yourself a family. I mean, I appreciate there are some respects in which this is tricky for you. And obviously, much though I would love you to be able to rule the world, I can't actually organise that myself. Though maybe you'll accept being like the Duke or whatever you're going to turn into when we finally get someone back from the mountain homes next year. Yes, needs alcohol to get through the working day and can't even remember the last time he had some because he doesn't need to drink and doesn't seem to think that this would help him. Stout. Okay, apparently this qualifies as fighting as well, but not practicing a martial art. So yes, the 2 bits of body that got raised have been destroyed. One might hope that that skeleton could be raised. But yeah, I shouldn't unpause really because we've got a forgotten beast in the caverns. Actually, let's do the minimum thing to avoid accidentally losing all my dwarves to the forgotten beast, which is to... say, get out of the caverns, you stoats. Because otherwise there's going to be an embarrassment when our new forgotten beast who is conveniently on the upper layer of caverns, so ends up meeting someone. Load of jobs get cancelled, and everyone will start coming home. Right, so yes. We successfully trapped the Forgotten Beast, and we managed to get our necromancer to raise things from the dead, albeit not quite where we'd intended them to do it, and it didn't actually manage, nothing they raised from the dead actually managed to kill anyone. I mean, we've got a polar bear skeleton over here. Well, partial skeleton. Maybe we could move the necromancer around there and see if they can raise the polar bear skeleton. That at least won't turn out to be intelligent and want to run away. But really, they should be able to raise that remaining skeleton there. Oh well, right, so I think that is all for tonight, and we will be back on Sunday, where we will carry on and hope that this siege just wanders off when they get bored if we can't work out a way to throw anything serious at them. So, yes, good night, all. Gareth says, skook.